While you are preparing for your final exam, some students may have some questions about the study plan. Should I actually start with the most difficult subject, or should I actually start with the easy subject? Or should I start with the most difficult areas and I leave the easy areas later? So what is the best way to go about it? Actually, there's no best way, or I would rather say there's no one way approach that fits everyone. So there are a few things that you have to consider whether you should go for easy one first or difficult one first. The first thing is how much time left. If we were to talk about it now, from now onwards until the first paper that you are having, maybe you have not much time, honestly you say, because if you find one subject is very difficult, you should start preparing the most difficult subject much earlier than now. Actually, to say like this. However, if you start now, I mean, we cannot return back. We cannot turn the time back. So you can, of course, you can start now, and you need to start now, but you will expect some inefficiency. You cannot expect perfect, I would say, right? That is the first thing that I would like to remind you, how much time left, and so you adjust your expectation according to the time, right? The second one is based on your character. It is based on your character. Some people, they will get panic towards last minute, but some people, they will thrive towards last minute. They will do better when the time is urgent, especially people with ADHD. They will do very much better during the last minute compared to the normal days. So you have to see your character. Will you get panic during last minute, or will you actually thrive during last minute? If you are the one getting panic, right, you may want to consider to start with the easy one first, because some students, they have a checklist. They have a checklist. I want to study this, I want to study that, I want to do this, that, and so on. So if let's say the checklist is most thick, that will reduce your panic emotion. So if this helps you, then you can start with the easy one first, because the easy one will help you to tick faster. Right, you go through the easy one, you will tick faster. So that is one thing that you have to consider. If you are this kind of character, and if you like to tick everything, you have a checklist to tick everything. And then start with easy one is also to tell yourself that, hey, you see, I can master it. Because when you start with the easy one, you can master, you will go very fast because you can master it very well. So it is a way to tell your brain that, hey, you see, I can master it. So when it comes to the difficult one, hopefully that your brain will be convinced that you will be able to master it as well, right? So that's the one. But some students with panic character, they like to start with the most difficult one so that they master the most difficult portion, then only they go to the easy one. It is also a way, but if you cannot master your difficult portion, it's like you have difficulties in mastering it, but the easy one still never settle, I don't know whether it will add on to your panic emotion, right? So that is some advice that I will give. And then if you are the one thrive with last minute arrangement, if you are the one that can perform well when it comes to last minute, then maybe you can start with the difficult one first. Why is that so? It's because now it's considered last minute already. So if you start with a difficult one, you may have the motivation to actually to deal with it, to deal with the difficult areas that you think normal days, no matter how, you are not motivated to do. So now I think you have the motivation to do it, right? So you can consider to start with the difficult one. Then because you thrive during last minute, right, after you settle the difficult one, the easy one will not really have a problem with you. You may not have a problem with the easy one, because you can perform well, right? And your performance boost when it comes to last minute. So that may be a plan that you can consider. But if you are the characteristics who thrives during last minute, I would say it is not too much of difference, if ever, whether you start from the easy one or whether you start from the difficult one, because no matter how during last minute you will be able to do it, right? So anyhow, that's my advice. You can start with the difficult one first, because the easy one, I believe you can go through it very fast, because your performance will boost during the final, during the last minute, right? Ultimately, if you are having the character with easy panic, you shouldn't start your revision in last minute. Honestly, you say, because when you get panic, you will have a lot of issue. The emotion of panic keep on bothering you, it will actually make your revision to be not so efficient. So if you know that your character is easy panic, you need to start earlier. Next time you have to plan earlier, right? So the third thing is, you may also want to consider to rank the importance instead of talking about you should start the easy one or you should start the difficult one first. Because the importance of a certain topic in your final exam will make a very much difference in your study plan, I would say. In each subject, for example, you may need to see what are the areas that is more important. Some areas are easy, some areas are difficult for you, right? But then we should actually go for the important one, especially during the urgent situation, because the important one may secure your performance more than the not so important one, right? So you may need to do a ranking, right? You can do a ranking in terms of easy and difficult, and also important and not important. The important and the difficult one will be the one that you should put most time on it, whether you study first or whether you study later, right? That should be the most time, right? Important and the easy one is also something that you may want to look into it. The not so important one maybe will be lesser priority, right? Maybe will be at the lesser priority. Okay, so that is the third thing that you may want to consider. And the fourth thing is, you have to check your timetable, your exam timetable. I mean, if your exam timetable is very packed, you have no gap between the papers, then you may want to design your revision before you take all the papers. But if you have certain papers that you have like 2 days gap or 3 days gap, you still have some time to make preparation. In such a case, then the later paper, after the 2 days gap, the paper that you are taking may not be the most urgent for you to settle right now. You should settle the one that come first, and also the one without gap one, without any gap of days. So that will help you to make your study plan, right? So no matter how, you also need to base on your past experience. If you are not the first time taking exam, then how the past experience works? How did your study plan in your past experience work? Did your study plan work well? Did your study plan give you very efficient solutions to master all your studies? If yes, then you may want to consider to continue it. But if this semester the situation is a bit different, then maybe you got to do some ranking, prioritization, and see which one is more important for you to go to first. Right? I wish you all the best, and I'll see you when I see you.